TG Geeks, episode 135, September 18th, 2017. And the nuttiness continues. Hello and welcome to another webcast from tggeeks.com, where Ben and Keith, the Two Gay Geeks, talk about all aspects of geekdom and nerdery. Sci-fi, comics, film, horror, genre, you name it, we talk about it. I'm Keith Lane, and we're coming to you from TG Squared Studios in It's Getting Cooler, Phoenix, Arizona, and we just have lots of nuttiness for you, as always.
Like almond or pistachio.
And sometimes you feel like a nut.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't. And I'm Ben Raggington, also coming to you from, yes, it is only 94 degrees outside, which makes it almost lovely, Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah, when it gets under 100, we all celebrate.
Break out the parka.
Exactly. So we're going to have just a bunch of things to talk about this time, and we're just going to get right into it.
Well, we were very happy to hear this news. We weren't able to...
What the heck was that all about?
I don't know.
Why did that on repeat?
You have got on repeat?
I don't know why it's on repeat. What's on repeat? Okay.
I don't know. Anyway, is it off now?
It is now.
Oh, good. Anyway, as I was going, I'm waiting for it to hit me again, I swear.
Yeah, I know.
We were not able to attend the last day at Horrible Imaginings Film Festival, and of course that's when all the awards go out for, and these are awards that are selected by the audience, who attend the entire time, and every time there's a block of films that's finished, everybody in the audience is given a little ballot. They fill out and they pick their winners. Well, one of the big winners, we were thrilled to learn. I'm going to hit you. I'll just sit here and wait. It's not a problem.
Go ahead.
Keep your hands away from that control panel. One of the big winners was B&B.
Yay.
We were very happy to hear about this.
Very excited and very happy, yes.
Yes, it took a number of awards.
It was Best Score in a Feature Film.
Right. Also Best Actor for Paul McGann.
And Best Director for Joe Ahern.
Yes, we were thrilled to see that this movie did well, and I know that you had reached out to Joe Ahern and the producer.
Jane Chard.
Jane Chard.
Who's the producer of the
film.
Yep.
And they were very happy to hear about it, and they were delighted for our support for this film.
Yeah.
I wish I could have polled more people after the movie ended when we saw it Saturday night, because I would have liked to have gotten everybody's reactions. But I do remember, and I know we talked about this on the last episode, when it ended, I actually liked it. I mean, it held up.
Yeah, exactly.
It totally held up. It was so enjoyable to see it on the big screen.
Oh, it was incredible to see it on the big
looked
screen.
Great on the big screen.
Yeah.
I was just so happy to see that movie presented like that. I was happy to see it so well received too. That was exciting. I mean, my only regret is that no one from the movie could actually be there.
Yeah,
that would have been wonderful.
Yeah, it would have been great. But
yeah, we were very happy that it won. I understand that it's getting some distribution.
I'm not sure.
I thought I'd read that somewhere, that it's actually that there may be some distribution coming. Well, maybe this will help. If there isn't any,
exactly.
Hopefully this will put it on the path to being distributed, because I guess at present it's only available on the film festival circuit. And if it is, please, by all means, go out and see this movie. It is a wonderful film. I can't crow about it enough. And if anybody has any questions about it, you can read the article on the win for Horrible Imaginings, and we can
read our review.
We can
listen
read
to the
interview
with Joe.
Yeah. So check all those out. You won't be sorry. This movie is fantastic.
It really is it's a great Hitchcock film.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah, Hitchcock influenced kind of movie. Yeah, like I said, it's not classic horror. This is more of a thriller.
Yeah.
And a bloody good one at that, too. And just the best character developments any movie could have.
Yeah.
So, moving on. Oh, I cannot be more excited
We're cuckoo
for Coco.
Coco, not cuckoo.
No. There's nothing to be cuckoo about this movie. I am so excited. There's a brand new trailer that was just released. I guess Disney and Pixar, I mean, they're feeling really good about this by treating people with yet another trailer for this wonderful movie that's all about basically Day of the Dead.
When is this? When is it released?
The movie comes out November 22nd.
November 22nd. Just so it's.
This is going to be like the holiday movie.
Yeah. Yep.
Right around the time. And if anybody doesn't know what it's all about, it's about a young aspiring musician named Miguel, and he sort of ends up in the land of the dead.
Yeah.
And, this is not the first time that we've seen this kind of story done, but this will be Pixar's first take on it. And
it looks
looks rich.
Just charming.
It looks absolutely rich, and it looks like it's... I mean, there's a photo that I'm looking at right now, and we'll have the link for this new trailer. I beg everybody to go take a look at it. And there's a photo that's embedded in the article, and you see two of Miguel's ancestors just arm in arm, smiling at him. And they're, obviously Miguel, he doesn't see them because he's the photo's clearly in the land of the living that he's in, but they can see what's happening, and it just says that this movie is going to be filled with so much heart.
Yeah, and of course there's the comedy element too.
Oh yeah,
it always has to be, and it's not. I don't think that it's going to be overused. It's going to be good.
It's going to be balanced, and here's the thing that we need to remember: this movie, it's being directed by Lee Unkrich, and all anybody has to do is remember Toy Story 3. And what a phenomenal movie that was.
Yeah.
And it's being produced by Darla K. Anderson.
Darla.
Yes. So I think this movie is going to be absolutely great. Check out the new trailer. It is beautiful, and it's just more breadcrumbs. It doesn't really give any spoilers as to where this movie is going to go, but it looks fantastic. I can't wait. This is one that this is one of my big movies for the year.
Yeah.
I'm just so excited about it. And talking about big movies of the year, It.
He said the word. He said the
word. He said the word.
Stop saying
Stop
the
saying
word.
it. Oh no, I said it. Oh, I said it again. Oh, and there again. Right. Not Holy Grail. We're talking about the Stephen King inspired movie.
Oh, that
called
It.
That's
it.
Yes, about this clownish, demonic character that preys on children every 27 years or so. Now, we have not seen the movie. I want to very badly. We had the privilege of seeing a lengthy trailer for it while we were in San Diego Comic-Con, oddly enough at a Robotech panel.
Yeah.
Because the director for it was announced as being the director for the new Robotech live-action film. But it gave us an opportunity to see the trailer, a lengthy one, which had not been released yet. That trailer had not been released at the time, so we got the early preview. And this trailer looked like, I've always said that the best kind of movies, best kind of horror movies are the ones that make the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. If you can give me that kind of a chill, then you've got a winner, as far as I'm concerned. And that trailer did it. It didn't rely on jump out scares, but it looked absolutely terrifying. Well, as I said, we didn't see it, but one of our latest people to join the TG Geeks staff, if you will, her name is Ro. She did see it. She's got a review for it. We will have the link for this in our show notes. Did she see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Did she?
She did.
Did she?
She did.
Oh, she did she?
Oh, she did. Yeah. Yeah. Inside joke, people. Sorry. You need to watch Vicar of Dibley.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, Rose seemed to like it. She gave it a B+. But I would say, people, check the review out for yourselves. If you're unsure, as to whether or not this is a movie that you would want to see. You know, if you're kind of like on the fence regarding horror movies, or if you're on the fence regarding clowns, like some people we know, Norm, then read the review, check it out for yourself. I think it looks terrifying. I can't wait to finally get a gander at it. It might be another week or so before we finally get to see it.
Yes.
But like again, if you want to know, check out the review. We will have the link for that in our show notes.
Well, and that it has become a meme even before the movie was released. Oh God,
yeah, didn't it?
Obviously the clown and the.
Well, that's been a terrifying thing anyway, and I'll be interested to compare it. I mean, I liked the TV movie that starred Tim Curry as the clown Pennywise, but the problem is that it devolved into something that was just even worse than your 1950s Monster of the Week kind of film. So I will be curious to see how this film plays it out. And I did read some other story. Apparently this has a very open ending because there is talk about a sequel. So
they can do it again.
Yeah, do it again.
No.
Okay, I'm done.
Again.
I'm done.
Okay.
I'm very much done.
You're done with it. Huh?
I'm done with it. Yes, thank you.
All right, moving right along. Here we go.
Hey, it's America's sweetheart, Brian Augustine, comic legend and bon vivant, and you're listening to the Two Gay Geeks.
And here's a few selected birthdays for September 18th through September 24th. And before we get to the 18th, we have a special shout out that wasn't in our calendar that I forgot.
Oops.
Special shout out to Kenny Rotter. So today, as we record this episode, or yesterday, September 17th.
Yeah.
birthday.
We're recording it on the 17th. You're listening to it on the 18th or later.
And that's his birthday. So happy birthday, Kenny.
Yes. Moving right along. September 18th, Jack Ward. And we were just talking about Jack Ward yesterday from the used cars. Oh, my God. I got to see that movie again.
Yeah.
After the experience that we had yesterday,
yes,
I have to see that movie again.
Yes. And by the way, Ben got a brand new car.
I've got a brand,
and we are a two Subaru family.
I'm talking new car. It
Brand
only
new.
had like, when we brought it home, actually,
66.
we finished test driving, it had 66 miles
Right, yeah.
on it.
So it had,
it is new.
Yep, brand new.
And it's loaded.
Yes.
That's some nice features.
Kind
I
of
like it. Anyway, but that's what we talked about Jack Ward, because yes, used car, you have to see this movie. It is insane.
Yes, it's crazy. Also on September 18th, Fred Willard, Greta Garbo, and June Foray, who we lost earlier
We
this
recently
year.
lost her and had the privilege of actually being in the audience with her at a Pinocchio film screening when it got remastered by Disney.
Yeah. September 19th, David McCallum.
Interesting. I just saw a Babylon 5 episode with him the other day.
Yeah, and Adam West, who we just
recently lost as well.
Jeremy Irons, Cass Elliott,
Oh,
or Mama Cass. She had a fabulous voice, and
The best.
Yes, and Brian Epstein, who was the
the manager.
The manager for
the Beatles.
The
yes.
original manager for the Beatles. September 20th, Sophia Loren. Dale Chihuly, and if you don't know who Dale Chihuly is, then shame on you. But he is a famous glass artist. And
he's the inspiration for Cthulhu with those webby... No, I'm sorry.
Cthulhu.
Cthulhu. Bless you.
Yeah. Also on September 20th,
that was the worst joke
good
ever.
friend of ours, Rob Palmer,
Yes.
who has his film, I Am Alone, that's going to be released on September 26th.
Is it?
Yes. It
Thank
is.
you.
Yes.
I actually didn't know.
Yeah, September 26th.
I knew it was being distributed.
Yeah, and so hopefully next weekend we will get to talk to him and release that in anticipation of the
That would
release
be
of
wonderful.
I Am Alone. On DVD, etc., various other places.
Yes.
It has distribution now. September 21st, Bill Murray, Stephen King, who
Interestingly enough.
Chuck Jones, Jerry Bruckheimer, H.G. Wells, and Gustav Holst, the composer.
I have to share a story about H.G. Wells. This is the weirdest thing. I was listening to one of the Sirius radio channels, and they were doing. They actually aired the Orson Welles War of the Worlds radio broadcast.
Oh my gosh.
And then when it was over, there was an interview with Orson Welles and H.G. Wells.
Oh, wow.
I mean, H.G. was still alive. I
that's
mean,
right,
he was very old at the time. Now, that was one of the most awe-inspiring moments of my life. I mean, okay, yeah, I'm hearing a recording, but I'm hearing a recording of an interview with one of the greatest historical science fiction writers of all time.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's amazing.
I mean, that was my little wow experience. I just had to share with everybody.
Yeah. September 22nd, Joan Jett, Tom Felton, and
Draco Malfoy.
Yes, and Michael Faraday.
For people who don't know who Michael Faraday is,
He was a physicist and a chemist and scientist, if you will. If you think about a Faraday cage, that's Michael Faraday. September 23rd, Mickey Rooney, Ray Charles, and Bruce Springsteen. September 24th, 24th. Brad Bird. And Jim Henson of the Muppets. And speaking of which, we
got to see that. It was a great exhibit in Seattle.
A great exhibit. I didn't realize that Jim Henson went way back into the 50s.
Very way back.
And Kermit made his debut in the 50s.
I believe it was the Steve Allen Show.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's amazing.
And if you're in the Seattle area, go to the Museum of Pop Culture.
Yeah.
And get the extra admission to see the Jim Henson exhibit, because especially if you grew up with Sesame Street.
Oh, yeah.
And some of the other Jim Henson creations, like Labyrinth or Dark Crystal, go see this, because, I mean, I got one of the Kermit puppets was there.
Yeah.
And
among others,
Ernie and Bert were there. I mean, this is stuff out of my childhood.
Yeah.
It was so awesome to look at.
Yeah, it was really great. So that's it for the birthdays this time.
Hi, my name is Joe Hogan, and I'm a geek. And if you're currently listening to this, there's a good chance you're a geek too. So check out my podcast, Geektitude. Each week, I talk with somebody about their geek aptitude. Sometimes I talk to people in a geeky profession. Sometimes it's someone doing something really cool with their geekiness. Often it's another geeky podcaster. But it's always someone who wants to share their inner geek. So join me each week as we come together to geek out about all the geeky stuff we love. And remember, this week, keep it geek.
Gosh, what is wrong with me?
You're having a great day today.
I'm having a date gray today. What?
A date gray.
Yeah. If I had hair, it would be gray.
Yeah.
Go give a listen to
Are you trying to suggest something about me and my hair?
No,
okay.
Not at all.
Oh, not at all, no.
Not at all. Go give a listen to our friend Joe over at Geektitude.
What were we talking about?
What were we talking? I
don't know.
I don't know. We're just being crazy.
Wow.
As I said, the nuttiness continues.
God help you all.
And it's time for our dancing robots here.
I welcome my dancing robotic overlords.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is our little mini feedback. We have a little bit of feedback this week.
A bit of feedback.
Just a tiny bit. And starting, this is in regards to our last episode 134, where we talked about the Horrible Imaginings experience. We got a message from Greg Lowe. And for anybody who doesn't know who Greg Lowe is, well, aside from being a bit of a science guy himself, he's an astrophysicist, if I'm not mistaken. He's also a filmmaker of his own right.
Yeah. And
did a phenomenal short at the very first Horrible Imaginings festival we attended 2 years ago. And wow. Anyway, he said, "You guys are amazing. Thank you for supporting independent film." Now, I hope to be getting in touch with Greg soon, because apparently he's got another project on the horizon. I want to talk to him about that,
Yay.
hopefully. And then we also got a message, a rather weird one, from a good friend Arkle.
Yeah, it was just he just said that the sound dropped
Yeah,
out.
he
and
writes.
I went and listened to it.
Yeah,
and
he
I don't
writes.
know.
Not sure if it was just on my end for some reason, but at about 7 minutes into the episode, the volume drops off hard. Even after moving the volume bar up on the YT player up past the halfway mark, more than twice where I had it before, I could still barely hear it, and we didn't notice anything.
Yeah, I went and replayed it on YouTube and several different on my phone and iPad as well as on my Mac. So
Yeah, but you
I
also
don't know.
you also go through the entire WAV file when we're finished recording. So
yeah, and I
to
didn't
look
see
for
anything dropped off. So
nothing-
I don't know what was going on there. I appreciate it if you'd give another listen and see if that happens again.
Yeah, let us know.
So,
And for anybody else who's out there
yeah,
listening,
if you experience that, let us know,
let
please.
us know about it. Yeah, we'd like to know. And then lastly, now this young man just reached out to us because, and we could not be happier. His name is Matt Ian Kelley, and he writes, "Hello, gentlemen. I'm a UK-based podcaster / actor / lover of pop culture. My podcast is called A Beginner's Guide to a 40-something Gay Man on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, etc. I've just started listening and subscribed to your podcast.
Yay, thank you.
I love it. You sound like superb gents whom I'd love to chat to. On podcast and off to discuss TV shows, films, music, and life. Would be great to chat further if you fancy it." He has a website, mattiankelley.com. And he says, "Keep up the good work meantime. Best, Matt." Well, thank you, Matt. I mean, I
Yeah.
cannot tell you how much that made our day when we saw that.
Yeah, it was great, and we will certainly get back to you because we would be glad to chat with you sometime.
Yeah, I mean,
just-
who knows? I mean, we could have another Three Gay Geeks kind of episode.
Yeah, there you go. You never know.
You know, I will welcome it.
And that's it for our
For our
the
feedback for this week.
no other feedback.
No,
Nobody
that's,
loved us last week, huh?
nobody loved us last week?
Yeah.
Well, I think there's always some love that's going on
Yeah.
out there. I
Well-
mean, there's always people who are loving our content.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily come. I mean, Tom Mallory Gulbranson is always loving what we post.
Yeah.
You know, he's always loving the stories. He's always loving the episodes.
Give us some love, folks.
I mean, so there's a lot. I mean, people are giving us lots of love. I mean, I,
I know,
suppose
we-
I could
we
always
do.
document it.
We always get lots of love. Thank you to everybody. And thank you to everybody that does comment on our episodes and whatnot. And if you want to comment, please do. We appreciate your feedback. We welcome your feedback. We want to know what you think of our podcast. We want to know, good or bad, what you like, what you don't like. And you can always leave feedback on our episodes, wherever you find them, on Facebook, on YouTube, on our website, on
Twitter,
Stitcher, SoundCloud.
Yeah, wherever it's being
Spreaker,
distributed,
iHeartRadio,
leave a comment if you
etc.
can.
Yeah, as you can comment and you can leave those comments for us, or you can call us and leave feedback for us on our listener line. It's 469 TG Geeks. That's 469-844-3357. And please remember, play nice.
Most people do.
You don't need to hear their identification. They're the Two Gay Geeks. They can go about their business. Move along.
Okay, got a few more things that we can talk about. This is not going to be a very long episode, but you know, we wanted to give you guys some kind of nice little comment to think about. Oh wow, Amazon Princess, bulletproof bracelets, invisible plane. Oh my. Because Annapurna Pictures, they've just
Wait, what?
Annapurna Pictures.
Oh, I didn't know you were speaking some foreign language or
I
something.
am not. That's the name of a studio. They
Ah.
have just released the first clip of a movie that comes out next month called Professor Marston and the Wonder Women. Now, it stars Luke Evans. Now, Luke Evans was in the second and third Hobbit movies. He was
Bard.
Bard, thank you.
Yes. And also, he was also in Beauty and the Beast.
That's right. He played Gaston.
Yes.
And it also stars Rebecca Hall and Bella Heathcote. The movie's being directed by Angela Robinson. It is set to premiere at the Toronto International Film Festival, and it opens in theaters It was interesting because the article says it opens theaters October 13th, but there's a little production card that says October 27th. In any case, we have a trailer for this film, but the synopsis reads like this, and check it out. Now, this is a superhero origin tale unlike any other. It tells the incredible true story of the inspired Harvard psychologist Dr. William Moulton Marston and how he created the iconic character of Wonder Woman in the 1940s. And while Marston's feminist superhero was criticized by censors for her quote-unquote sexual perversity, turns out the good old professor was keeping a secret himself. He had a rather progressive type relationship, let's just say, with two women. One of them was his wife, and the other one was somebody else.
Oh.
And the trailer is fascinating because just there are glimpses into their personal life, shall we say, that clearly forms who Wonder Woman became and what she could do.
Interesting.
And there's a cute little bit in there where the two ladies are telling Marston that this character will never work. And it makes you laugh when you consider that Wonder Woman is right now probably, as far as Warner Brothers is concerned, the single most popular superhero film to come along, at least since Tim Burton's Batman.
Yeah.
If not Superman the movie from 1978. So it's I think this movie is timely, given a Wonder Woman's big success and how she's going to be back in November in Justice League. Wonder Woman 2 has already been given the green light. We're going to talk about that in a minute. I think it's really time that this movie comes out. It's awesome. So, but again, we have a trailer for this film. We will have the link for it in our show notes. Check it out. I think this movie is going to be a hoot and a holler in a rather ironic sort of way.
Yeah.
So, as I said, yes, Wonder Woman 2 is coming back, and probably the single greatest, well, one of the greatest reasons that this movie was such a massive hit was its director, Patty Jenkins. She's coming back to direct.
Yay.
Fantastic. It had been hoped by many that she would be returning, especially when you consider how hot the movie was. I mean, the movie was given, Wonder Woman 2 was given the green light really early on. I mean, I think the first movie was out maybe a week.
Yeah.
And then Warner said, here it is, have at it. And Jenkins was going to, she was already approved to help with the script, but everybody was thinking, what about directing it?
Yeah.
Because she needs to direct this film. And here we are, sometime later, and finally Warner's says, yes, we've got her on board. It turns out that I think it was all a negotiating deal because, and hold on to your hats on this one, this is really exciting for women film directors because it is being reported by Variety that Jenkins, who is working on the script with Jeff Jones, who's the creative control boss for DC and Warner's, it's rumored that she could be making as much as $8 million to write, direct, and produce this movie.
Wow.
$8 million! That's going to make her the highest paid woman in this position. I mean, women directors rejoice.
Yay.
Because she is crashing through that glass ceiling that I think has just been that's been so unfair to women directors.
Absolutely.
And as we know one personally, being Patricia Chica.
Yes.
And women directors sometimes they have a different kind of insight that I don't want to call it a purely feminist, but they can.
With a different.
It's a different point of view,
Yeah,
which
exactly.
is just as equally valid and equally wonderful, and can really touch people in a completely different way. I'm thrilled that Patty Jenkins is going to be getting this kind of a payday. I hope that this sets the path for others that are going to be coming along down the road. And for anybody who wonders where this Wonder Woman sequel is going to be taking place, some of the early teasing says that it could be taking place during the Cold War of the 1980s, We don't know yet. It's still too early to tell, but it doesn't really matter. All we know is that Jenkins is going to be writing, directing, and producing this film. And given the enormous success that the first movie had, I can only have just nothing but the greatest excitement for this upcoming film. And if you want to read more about the story, this particular story, and some of the details surrounding Patty Jenkins being hired, we will have the link for this in our show notes.
Yay.
Now, to close things off,
Oh, dear.
a really weird story just came out over the weekend. Wow. As you know, we like to kind of get sneak previews for movies. We like to get screeners because we like to report on them, and we always do it in a non-spoilery sort of way. However, CBS has given they've shut the door.
They've given the red light.
Well, or you can say the black card to any kind of early reviews for Star Trek Discovery. And we're not just talking about an embargo. And for anybody who doesn't know what that is, I mean, and we go to many reviews or many screenings early, but there's the understanding that there's an embargo on reviews. We cannot publish the review until a particular date. That is agreed upon by the studio and the PR company that is handling the press. We have no problem with that. However, that's not what's happening here. There are no screeners for this.
Period.
None.
And they're even embargoing reviews after the premiere.
Isn't that ridiculous?
There are going to be 2 premiere events, but it's embargoed until it actually airs
on CBS.
Yeah. So
there are 2 schools of thought here.
yeah.
The first school of thought is that, well, this is the new model, especially with the enormous success that Game of Thrones had. And to be honest, Game of Thrones did have its own built-in audience because of the enormous success that George R.R. Martin's books have with readers. So the thought was, you don't want to give anything away. You don't want to have anything that could be spoilerific.
Right.
For that. And to an extent, I sort of agree. It's thought that maybe by doing that, you're going to be drawing people by not telling them. You're going to be drawing them towards your subscription service. However, this is Star Trek.
Exactly. Well, part of the problem is that, unfortunately, today, anybody with a typewriter can be a critic.
Right.
Or thinks they are a critic.
Mm-hmm.
And most people that are out there don't understand that you don't give spoilers. I mean, you can write a review without a spoiler, and there's been too much of that recently.
Yeah.
In just at large,
Mm-hmm.
of people just giving spoilers out,
True.
Trotting them out there.
True.
So,
But at the same time,
yeah.
however, CBS could really set some very good terms here, saying, okay, if you really want a screener, this is what we expect. We expect this, that, and if a person, doesn't abide by that, they can always be blacklisted if necessary.
Yeah.
I can understand CBS not wanting any spoilers to come out, but let's consider what we're looking at here. This is Star Trek. So when we're talking a built-in audience, we're talking massive. Now, granted, and we've had this conversation with Jeannie Koch, we've had it with Larry Nemeczek, and that is, many times, and I've heard this also from Brandon Braga as well, that when they're making these Star Trek television shows and these movies, they're not making it for the diehard fan. They're making it for the casual viewer. Okay, I kind of get that. However, the issue of quality and episodic canon has been brought up repeatedly. Ex-showrunner Brian Fuller had insisted from the beginning that this series was going to adhere to established canon from the TV shows and the non-JJ movies. Yet we see things in the trailers that seem to suggest otherwise. And then what do we find out? Brian Fuller, who had worked on Voyager, was excited because, I mean, how awesome is it that we could get a diehard fan to be the showrunner?
Right.
All of a sudden, he's now out. Granted, he's working on American Gods now, but the circumstances surrounding his departure, despite whatever public announcements we may have received, they're still being met with great scrutiny and skepticism. With all of that, the last thing you want to do is alienate your fan base, especially if you're trying to get them to come and subscribe to your streaming service.
Exactly.
And I mean, yeah, the first episode will air on CBS, but we haven't subscribed to the streaming service yet because I don't know what kind of quality I'm looking at here. I mean, this is going to be, well, I'm guessing a 2-hour pilot.
Probably.
But and most pilot episodes that Star Trek have run, you know, be it Next Generation or Deep Space Nine. Well, Voyager, I don't know, the Voyager pilot I actually hated. But Enterprise, I mean, all the other pilot episodes I thought were very strong enough for me to say I want to come back.
Interesting little thing that just popped up. Sorry to interrupt your stream.
Oh dear.
On my RSS feed, your article about Discovery No Reviews just popped up.
Did it really? On the RSS feed?
As we're talking about it.
Oh my. The word is getting out.
Yes.
Far out.
Anyway,
I take great concern with this, that they don't want to have any kind of reviews go out, because especially if you're trying to get people to subscribe to a streaming service, and this series is supposed to be, pardon the pun, the flagship show to get people to subscribe, the last thing you want to do is give your audience a reason to not subscribe.
Exactly.
I mean, that's my I mean, what you and I have what are some of your thoughts on this?
Well, that's what it just screams that, oh, we want you to subscribe to our service so you can see it, and you know, all this kind of stuff. It really looks a little self-serving to not allow any reviews. I understand that they don't want any spoilers, and I understand that the pilot is supposed to have a number of twists in it, and given the fact that some people can't keep their mouth shut, you know.
Well, yeah, that's unavoidable, I suppose.
I sort of understand it, but really, come on,
can't they
give us something?
Well, the fact is, they could go to, I mean, if they're really worried,
handpick some specific people and say, okay, this is exactly what we expect. Some big names in review circles.
I mean, okay, sure, I would love to have been, in that circle, because we would have abided by the rules. But CBS doesn't know who the heck we are.
Yeah.
But they could have gone to some of the really big critics and say, okay, this is what we expect. Abide by these rules, please. And they would have.
Yeah.
Easily. And then that way we would have something to go with.
Or even, for God forbid that they should go to a shill for them.
Well,
I mean, my gosh, something.
Give
us something.
Absolutely nothing at all. And when you consider that the idea of this series being available only through their streaming service once the pilot airs, I mean, yes,
streaming service.
Yes, Yeah, this is a streaming service. I mean, yes, the people living in the UK will get it via Netflix, but
next year.
No, this year.
Oh, they get it
in UK.
Oh, okay.
They get it this year on Netflix.
Okay, in UK.
But CBS, the network, won't air this until next year. So, for anybody who doesn't want to shell out the money to see this, they'll have to wait a year until it's finally made available.
Right.
If they're trying to get people to join up on the subscription service, this isn't the way to do it, because that alone was met with a lot of controversy.
Yeah.
People hated that idea.
Yeah.
And, I admit, I was actually kind of one of them. In light of all the other legal issues that CBS and Paramount have been dealing with Axanar and whatnot.
Right.
I think that was a bad move, and now they're compiling it with this, which I think is another bad move.
Oh well.
So, but anyway, if you want to know more about the no early reviews for Star Trek Discovery, the link is on the show notes, and I will put it out to you. We've already got a couple of comments coming back from our readers that they've weighed in on their thoughts on this. I'd like to ask, the rest of you listeners, what are your thoughts about CBS saying ixnay to any evure? You like how I did that? Yeah. Yeah. But what are your thoughts about CBS saying no and putting on an embargo on reviews at this point? I mean, we're just a little over a week away.
Yeah.
Actually, we are a week away, if I'm not mistaken, because if I am correct, the series is supposed to. Yeah, the series premieres on September 24th.
Yep.
On CBS. So there it is. Do you think it's a bad idea that they're not giving any reviews at all at this time? What are your thoughts? Please let us know. Be happy to hear from you.
You can let us know. And we're going to do something different before we get to our follow-up items. So here it is.
Mark your calendars and plan to attend PIY 2017. PIY is the Podcast It Yourself workshop, and it's happening in Phoenix, Arizona, October 28th, 2017. This interactive workshop is being held for people who want to start a podcast or want to learn more about podcasting from experienced and respected podcasters. Learn about software, hardware, accessories, best practices, and more. And of course, we've got prize drawings to make podcasters weak in the knees. The workshop coincides with the long-awaited release of Podcasting for Dummies 3rd edition. Authors T. Morris and Chuck Tomasi will be at DIY to answer questions and sign books. Oh, and it also happens to be T's birthday, so come help him celebrate after the workshop is done. You do not want to miss this event. Spaces are limited. Go to podcastingfordummies.com and sign up for PIY 2017. It doesn't get any simpler than that. Podcastingfordummies.com and PIY 2017. Go. Now.
Thank you, Chuck, for that. And we are going to be involved in that. I'm doing the what not to do when you prepare for a podcast, or best practices.
Right. And
best not practices.
And you heard the bumper from Joe Hogan of Geektitude. He will be in attendance as well.
So, and they've got all the spots filled. One of them is how to maintain your sanity. Mm-hmm. One while doing the podcast.
I didn't actually know there was a panel on that. That's a good one. I want to be in attendance of that because that sounds funny.
That's Jack's panel, and then there's on what is it, attitude or staying positive, and then there's talking about somebody's going to do a track on Audacity. Mm-hmm. One's on hosting. One's on microphones, one's on other equipment, etc. So it's going to be kind of a full day. It'll be a lot of fun.
Should be good.
So come out and join us. We'll be there. We'll be in our show shirts, as always.
Of course.
We'll have some things to give away ourselves. So come out and join us for PIY 17. And, of course, we have all of our follow-up items. Check out our calendar on the website if you have a birthday or a festival or a film festival, con, etc. Send us a note. We'll put it on the calendar. Phoenix Comic-Con Fan Fest returns to Phoenix on November 11th and 12th. They've got quite a few guests that they've released already. So
yeah, they just announced another one.
There was another one. I can't remember who it was now.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Anyway, check out.
Yeah. It's the for the 5 kids from from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Right. So it's Charlie and Veruca and
Violet and Mike TV.
And Mike TV.
Yeah.
So
no Augustus, because I don't think they could fly him in from Bavaria.
Yeah. So check it out, myfanfest.com for Phoenix Comic-Con Fan Fest. OperaCon by Arizona Opera coming October 21st. There's going to be several events planned prior to that. There's prior to the Hercules versus the Vampires production on the 21st and 22nd here in Phoenix. Check out azopera.org. And of course, you heard us talk about PIY, or the Podcast It Yourself, October 28th. Come and see us and say hi at that event, as well as OperaCon and Phoenix Comic-Con Fan Fest. And as everybody knows, we are huge supporters of independent creators, whether it is filmmakers, comic book artists, writers, other artists of any kind. we found that there's a lot of talent out there that don't get a lot of the big fame and fortune and the money, etc. So if you hear somebody doing a crowdfunding campaign for their project, please consider supporting it. You can be part of something great. And I Am Alone was a crowdfunding thing,
Yes,
and
it was.
now it's getting distribution. So you never know. You might be sort of part of something big. Support independent creators.
Special shout out to the Doctor Who Talking Who on Twitter. They can be found at Talking Who. They publish the Doctor Who Fancast Guide, and they're always recycling our stories there on a very regular basis, and we greatly appreciate it. So check out Doctor Who Talking Who on Twitter. Also, you can read the Arkle Times Post Dispatch News. It is published by the Human Arkle. That'd be Brian Weber.
Yay.
And you can find him by going to @Arkle. He also has a presence on Tumblr. It is the Incorrect Star Trek Voyager Quotes. Check it out. It's great for a laugh here and there, but make sure you're not doing it while you're at work because it's not entirely safe there.
Yeah. We want to give a shout out to the twins. That's the Looky Show. They are on Twitter at Looky Show. They do a little bit of this and that on Twitter, but their main thing is their YouTube show. Check it out, Looky Show. They do reviews of movies and TV shows and other things in a rather unique way. So check them out, Looky Show on YouTube.
Special shout out to the Facebook group The Gay Geek because they allow us to share our episodes there. We are deeply grateful that they allow it, especially their high moderator, Jeremiah Rees. Thank you, Jeremiah, for allowing us to share our content on what is easily probably the greatest group page on all of Facebook.
Thanks, Jeremiah. And we want to remind you to occasionally click on our Amazon ads. We've got those at the bottom of each episode and each article, as well as our widgets on this right-hand side of the page. So check them out. Don't have to buy anything, but if you do choose to buy something, use one of our search ads. We get a little bit of a kickback, and thanks for your consideration. And lastly, check us out on iHeartRadio, and please rate us on iTunes and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you very much. Hopefully next time we're going to have Rob Palmer and Michael Weiss from I Am Alone, the movie.
We're going to get Michael too?
Hopefully we'll get both of them.
Oh, that'd be nice.
So, yeah. So check it out next week. Okay, that should do it for this episode of TG Geeks Webcast. Be sure to check out the article for this webcast episode. We'll have several links on the page of things that we talked about. And remember, you can comment on our Facebook page or our website, tggeeks.com, or you can leave us a voicemail at 469-TG-GEEKS. That is 469-844-3357 from TG Squared Studios. I am Keith Lane. Thanks for listening. I bid you peace.
Cheers.